If you're just joining us on the recording, we just played Quizlet live from the tissues. There's no date on the tissue test yet, but we're gonna take it easy and see what happens. So we're looking at Quizlet.com. Go to my class, Anatomy and Physiology. If you've not gotten there before, then try it again. And go to Final Bone List. All right. All right. Here we go. Boy, hot. Temperature. All right, so listen up. We're gonna start learning your bone stuff, okay? So we're gonna start looking at like the parts of your bone. Some of you have like pretty easy parts, like, oh, this is the patella, this is the base, this is the body, this is the apex. Those are pretty simple words. Some of you have words like tuberosity for the insertion of the coracoclavicular ligament. You're like, how in the heck am I ever going to say that? Yeah, Jonathan. Yeah, this bone test will be tomorrow. Okay, so we're going to learn the parts today. It's going to be like months away. So probably maybe a month and a half. I always, I'm going to say this publicly, okay, on camera. Okay, we all kind of start to get that feel of like, I'm getting it, right? And so I kind of have this idea of like when I think you might get it, but if that's not when you're getting it, then we'll figure it out, right? There's gonna be lots of practice. There's gonna be lots of like, it's not like I'm saying like learn this, and you do it on your own, okay? So we'll have that conversation. At this point, I have no idea. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, so my last year's class, it was interesting. So like 2 years ago, I was doing, I've been doing the bones like this for a while, but like Quizlet hasn't always been around for a while. And so kids like, you got to give me a Quizlet so I can study them at home and it really helps me. I'm like, cool. But I saw an interesting thing happen last year. And this was the weirdest thing ever. Okay, so like, let me give you an example. Can I touch your bone? Is that okay? I'll sanitize it afterwards. Okay, so here is the humerus. Okay, this is the humerus, and like kids were naming like this is the head, this is the greater tubercle, lesser tubercle, the anatomical neck, the surgical neck, the deltoid tuberosity, the cochlea, and the olecranon fossa. They're naming these. Okay, they nailed it. Okay, but they forgot that this was the humerus. Like they were naming all the parts, and I looked back at the Quizlet, and that's because the Quizlets just had like those part names to them rather than the actual bone name too. Okay, right? So let's always just first start with our actual bone name. Okay, and so I'm going to come around here and make sure that you know that. And so at the beginning of every class for like a week or so, I want to make sure that you know your bone name and that you also will share that with other people. Okay, you with me on that? Okay, so that's going to be the tough part at first. So yours is I won't ask you, I'll just tell you. Ulna, yep, right. You are the rib, you've got the tibia, mandible, tail. This is the sacrum, the coccyx, that kind of together there. That's the thoracic vertebra, skull, lumbar vertebra, scapula, right, clavicle, foot, fibula, hyoid, patella, humerus, femur. You're the cervical vertebra, right? Okay. Okay, so those parts are there. Now, real quickly, take your bone, okay, and put it where you think it is on your body. Okay, so where is this in your body? my son.
I don't know. This bone's too big to fit in on my
It's
body.
very easy for me.
This part right here.
I mean, this is common sense.
That's what it is.
Like that with my scar.
Okay? This is actually
I have a sharp that I can use.
very
And I will
important.
use it.
Yeah, very important. Okay?
So I got it right, but I didn't.
Good.
So I'm
Good.
still
This is
I
actually.
see how it is. That's why I hate you. Jace, don't talk to me.
Thumbs can
Okay.
be a-
All right. So
You made me mad, Jace.
you are. Okay, so
You sure to be a smart butt for no reason.
You're right. This is the tibia.
Jace, I said, this is the one that's right. And you were like, no, it's not. And it's not. Yes, it is. Jace, are you letting me talk? Are you letting me talk? Okay, when I said,
This one for you.
I said, it's this one. And you said, no, it's not. And I said, yes, it is. You said, no, it's not. And then you didn't, and then you didn't click it. I don't know where to.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But it's this here.
And then I was right, and then you were like, what's this one? What's this one? I don't know any of the other ones, but I knew that one.
Okay.
Yeah, now I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, was that right?
Right here. Go this right hand here.
Yes, but it's on the other side. You've got the other, nope, other
I was
way.
straight.
Yeah.
I'm straight because I was
Actually, look at us. I see a picture of Jason.
Yep. Yep, you got it.
Okay.
Okay, good,
Yeah,
good.
I can do it too.
Yeah, perfect.
No, it's not. It's not
Okay,
going
good.
to Jason.
Do you all think you could?
I suck myself you want.
Put that? You were right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Elena, I'm gonna flip the camera around so you can see what I'm doing, but like basically what we did was we were looking at the bones and we placed them on our body. You can see Gavin over here. He's got his tibia where it goes. Yours, hopefully you know where your hand is. If you don't know where your hand is, text me and I can help you out with that. Okay. All right. Now listen. Okay. So there's that part. Now what I want you to do, I guess I could turn this back around. Now what I want you to do is I want you to go to the Quizlet, okay, where you find your bones. So like it will be the individual ones. So if you're a humorist, okay, you would click on that bone. And if you look at each one of these things, it will highlight where your parts are. Okay, so what we did for this, and this goes way back. Okay, we used. Were you guys still around when we had iPads?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have games on them.
Oh yeah. I miss the iPads, but the gaming on the iPads was ridiculous. I'll never forget. Do you guys remember? That game Make It Rain? This is when I lost it. Okay, do you remember that? And then there's that cookie game too. I'll never forget. So kids would try to hide it, right? And so they would put the iPad in their lap. And then one time I see this kid. I'm like, what are they doing? And all I could see is this under the desk. And I was like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, I'm making it rain. I was like, oh, this is weird. This is real weird. All right. But what we did was, that's a 100% true story. Okay, so listen to me. Okay, what we did was we used Notability. Do you remember Notability? Okay, it was way better than Cami, if you ask me. Okay, and we took pictures of the bones. So these pictures are the actual pictures of the bone that you're holding at your desk. Okay, then what we did with that was we used Notability to highlight those pictures. Okay. So if you're having trouble seeing these pictures, one thing I love about the Chromebook is that you can use the touch screen to make these pictures bigger. Okay, but I want you to look through these pictures, okay, and you find, of course, there's your term, greater tubercle, lesser tubercle. I want you to look at where they are in the picture, okay. And then over the next few days, what we're going to do is we're going to start using that Quizlet to determine where they're at. Now, the other thing that's great about this is the voice controls on this guy is pretty good. Okay, so remember, you could talk, do this. I'll turn it up.
Deltoid tuberosity.
Yeah, I don't know if you could change the voice on this one or not, but like,
Every time I start my car, I Bluetooth it. It's just cool in the sexy British accent.
oh, that's nice.
My car doesn't have Bluetooth.
Okay,
Yeah, I had to buy a.
all right. Are y'all with me on this? Okay, so look through yours for a few minutes here. Okay,
Both of mine only have 3 tones.
I know. You're
I
thrilled.
Yeah,
You have a lot
I know
more.
everything about the guitar.
You have a ton. So that's just part of it. Then you've got to go to those as well. Okay, so look, those are all your terms. Okay, so you've got to figure those out. And what we may do for you, I thought this would be really good, is do individual pictures. Okay, and maybe individual beads. So you and I might need to work on that to make that hand a little bit better.
Yeah, could we also like color these more because these things are like.
Yeah, I know they've kind of worn down like over the years.
Which one of my kneecaps is
What's this? This one, I think this one is what? You got yours?
in my right one? Yeah. Asia, have you gotten tested? I've been tested 3 times. Yeah, so is it painful? Yes. You want to see the video? Yeah, Loki. I don't really see it.
Elena, you following okay?
I've seen a video.
I just talked to Jace about the hand. He's also doing the hand here too. And I don't love how the Quizlet is for the hand. Because it doesn't look, and I didn't realize this until right now, it doesn't show you the differences between the all of the different pieces, like scaphoid, lunate, triquetrum, pisiform. So I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna work on that one. And you don't have an iPad, do you? Do you have an iPad? Do you have an old iPad? Hey, Jace, do you have a study hall? Yeah.
Kaden. Yeah, what kind of name is that?
Pretty close. That's an interesting one.
No, Mr. Berman, I do not.
Okay, you don't have to say.
No.
Elena, I lost you. Did you? Maybe you didn't hear me. Maybe you glitched out. Do you have an iPad? Do you have an old iPad? Did you buy one of those old iPads?
I did.
Who said I did? Okay. Do you have a study hall?
Why not you think about it real long and hard?
I don't know why.
Here's in my head. Here's how I interpreted that. Do I tell him the truth because I feel like he's gonna ask me something if I say yes, or do I
No,
lie?
McKenna actually didn't know she had one. Yeah, I do have one.
What period is it? Oh, what?
But I have to take a test today.
Yeah, no, this is yeah. What, do you have Notability on your old iPad?
Yes, I do.
Could you bring your old iPad?
And this is the
And on Friday, you can maybe, now this is gonna be a little work for you, but it might be fun.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, let's do it.
Don't you think she can do work?
All right, I think I got McKenna on it. Okay, so no worries. Oh, snap. All right, here's what I need you to do. Okay, go ahead and put your bones back on the back table, but wear your masks when you do so, please. Please wear your masks. All right, Elena, any questions for me? All right. Hey, thanks so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. And it's good to see you on here. And, email me if you ever have any questions or if you're having troubles, okay?